Welcome everyone to another installment of 10K Movies. I'm Ryan, joined as always by JD and Tommy. Fellas, how we doing?
Good evening. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Doing good. Yeah, anyone who has been listening or at least listened last week, the movie we watched for this episode was Mississippi Grind, picked by JD. So we will get into that. But not since it was a gambling movie, but after watching it, obviously it is a gambling movie. We talked about, you know, obviously we'll get into the movie, but we also want to do maybe something fun and change it up here on the podcast and do a draft of, I guess, gambling, not items necessarily, but gambling, I don't know, things involving gambling, I guess. So we're gonna do a snake draft here, us three, of five different rounds of gambling topics. So what we're gonna do is everyone has to pick two casino games. They could be, basically anything you'll find in a casino. And then everyone has to pick a sport to bet on, and then a miscellaneous anything miscellaneous in the realm of gambling. So you can get creative with it, really choose your own adventure there. And then since we are a movie podcast, we'll wrap it up. Well, not you don't have to pick it last, but a gambling movie, some movie that involves gambling. So like I said, we're gonna do a draft here, or snake draft. So hopefully, this will come through on video, but we're doing it in the order of how we pick our movies. So since this was JD's pick, JD's gonna start us off. I pick next week, so it'll be me and then Tom, coming back, so on and so forth. Yeah, really, you could pick the categories at any time. So JD, if you're feeling frisky, want to get that sport right away, go for it. But Tom and I don't have to follow suit. You can pick any round you want to pick that category. So
Blackjack.
yeah, is that first?
Yeah, that's first.
Okay, all right.
Good first pick.
That's a
Going for the
very
same thing.
very good first pick.
That's where
I was
most of my time goes in a casino.
hoping to get that. Anything else you want to talk about on blackjack?
No, besides I don't get enough aces and jacks.
Yeah.
A lot of sixes and fours. Right now, that's good. Sixes and sixes.
I think it's also statistically the best odds that at a
Mm,
casino.
no, I don't think so. I think it's only like
Oh, isn't it?
47%. I think Baccarat technically is like literally 50-50. Roulette's like 48%.
Well, let's not. Well,
Yeah.
let's not tip picks, I guess. But okay, no, I mean that's a good one. Blackjack is awesome. It's, again, I don't want to give away other picks, but it's one of, if not my favorite to bet, like with a group
Yeah.
of, like, guys that you go with. So I think it's very worthy of a number one pick. So I'll go next. It's actually one of the, oh man, I'm gonna get exposed on spelling here. But one of the ones you mentioned, JD, is roulette. I think that's how you spell it, hopefully. It actually looks wrong now that I typed it out. But
I think that's right.
yeah, it's in my, I don't know. I love blackjack, but roulette's just fun because, like, I think the odds are pretty shitty, but I think it's fun. There's literally no thought to it whatsoever. You just pick a number or many numbers, whatever you want to do, whatever your strategy is, and then go nuts if your number gets picked. So yeah, I love it.
Do you play numbers or do you play red black?
Uh I honestly usually do numbers. I usually do it like the corner, so like four numbers and hit in one way. But usually if I like missing a lot, I have like, $10 left or whatever, and then just kind of go all in like my favorite number, which is 13. Usually it doesn't hit, but if it does hit, I mean it's great odds if you do hit.
All in on
So
00.
yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll go with roulette. How about you, Tom? What's your number one?
Um, I mean, I have to do a huge pivot here. Like this is like when the two like running backs right before you get taken, you're like
Yeah.
sitting like the 7th pick and you've got nothing, and you have to like take a tight end. That's basically what I'm about to do. First pick, I'm going with a movie.
Okay.
I'm going with Rain Man.
Okay.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. Not what I was not expecting to see that movie pick, but I like it. If you want to elaborate a little bit.
You know, I was thinking about I would have ideally liked to take this later in like the 4th round, but like I said, I don't have a ton of options right now. I was thinking about, gambling movies. I thought a lot of the Rounders, 21. I thought those would be some of the ones that come to mind. The Hangover, I even thought about.
Yeah.
But if you've seen Rain Man, it's really good. I would consider it a gambling movie. And yeah, probably one of my top like 3 favorite Tom Cruise movies. So I want to snag it while it was still there. And at the turn, I'm going to go again, and I'm going to go with my miscellaneous.
Oh, okay.
Get it in the 2nd round, and that is Plinko.
Okay. Am I spelling that correctly?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
One of the
All right,
good
we got to hear something on that.
Plinko is awesome. If you guys, I mean, you're probably familiar with it from what's the show?
The Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah, it's just so fun. Watching the little disc go down the thing, and you can also play it at your local church picnic. So that's why I consider it gambling. You got to pay for the tickets, watch it fall. You could get nothing. You could hit it big. Some good innocent fun, but still considered gambling is Plinko.
Yeah, some casinos have Plinko or like online. Online, I've played it at least.
Yeah, check that out.
All right. I was not expecting to see either of those picks throughout
Happy
the draft, but I like it. I mean, that's interesting.
Like when you take a couple bold guys low in the,
It's like
guys consider it a reach, but you're like, well, this could be my championship lineup right here.
it's like Belichick drafting like D2 guys.
Yep.
So
Yep.
all right. Well, that's good. So I guess it's back to me. So I feel like casino games. I don't know. After there's a two more really good ones, I think. And this, I'm just gonna go with Texas Hold'em.
Okay.
It's my favorite poker. I don't even know if that's how you do it, but it's my favorite poker game that you can play. The only bad thing, I guess, and I know I shouldn't be shitting on my own pick, but the only bad thing is like if you play it at an actual casino, it can be like, well, really if you play it anywhere, it can be a little time consuming unless you like it is kind of a commitment unless you're gonna be out like pretty quickly. But like if that's all you have planned and like you can, sit at a table for a few hours, like it's one of my favorites. So
it's pretty quick for you generally, right?
yeah, usually is, yeah. And then I can just go throw some money on 13 at roulette. So but yeah, I love Texas Hold'em, so we'll go with that one.
All right, I'm gonna do my sport. I'll do NFL.
Okay.
And then miscellaneous, also kind of a sport, but I didn't want to choose it as a sport. The Kentucky Derby.
Okay, that's a good miscellaneous. That didn't even cross my mind, but I like that. I like NFL too. I think those are great. Yeah, I think those are great.
I'm loving my draft. This is just like fantasy.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, well, I guess so. You guys have already used your miscellaneous, so I don't have to take this yet, but so I'll say that till the last round. I guess I'll do sport because I think Tom was maybe going to take this, so I'll go with college football. NFL was my number one sport, but I think college football is a blast to bet on, especially like right when it starts up again. I mean, that's really for any sport, I guess, but it's just so fun. The board is endless. Like you have unlimited options basically. And like the spreads get so big too. And it's like that's just too big of a number, but you do it anyway, or you go against it, and usually like it's not even big enough. Like
No.
especially those early weeks, like the good teams just like run train. So,
Mhm.
Mainly the
but yeah,
Alabama lines.
yeah, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Like, no way, 45, and then it's like a
yeah,
60-point game, and you're like, "Yeah."
exactly.
That's very
But
true.
yeah, then you're like 45, it's a lot of points. Like, I mean, you just
Yeah,
do the math and then it's like, oh wow. But
yeah.
yeah, love betting on college football. It's probably the sport I have the least allegiance to, like team wise.
I would agree with
But
that.
and maybe that's why I like betting on it so much, I guess, because I can keep like emotions out of it. So uh yeah, I'll go with college football.
Strong
Um,
pick.
yeah, you guys took mine. What JD did, I was actually going to try to snag football,
I
NFL.
thought for sure you were grabbing that.
I honestly, in hindsight, I should have, because Plinko
You
would
just
probably
had
go
a
to the
Plink
board.
Plinko was
I was
cornering
gonna,
I need,
Rain Man and Plinko were going undrafted.
I wanted Plinko getting that draft capital second round. So I wish I would have taken NFL in hindsight. I'm just thinking that, like, when Ryan picked college football, I'm trying to think like what is because NFL is so far and away my favorite to bet on. Maybe because I just love it so much, but um I was debating between these two. I was thinking maybe NHL, just because, like, same as you, Ryan, I don't really have any allegiance. I like watching it a lot. It's a fun, exciting sport, and fun to throw a couple bucks on it. But I think it's, you don't overcomplicate this pick. You got to take college basketball
Yep.
simply for the tournament. Like, I don't know why I found myself watching less and less college basketball during the regular season, aside from IU. But tournament alone, you get 4 games going on. You throw a little bit of money on each game. I mean, that 4-day stretch alone is worth it. So college basketball is my
Yeah.
pick.
I mean, I think those are the top three.
Mhm.
Whichever
Yeah.
order you think they are, like I just think got to be the top three.
And March Madness is a solid like month of events for
Mhm.
betting.
Yeah.
Yep. Very true. And that takes me down to casino games. I feel like I don't have a ton of options left. So I'm gonna go slots. I think I think slots get a bad rap. They're still kind of fun,
Yeah, they're fun.
pull pull the knob, listen, sit there and watch and listen and pray. That's all it is. There's no skill, there's no strategy, you just pray. So there's something kind of fun about that.
Yeah.
So
I've
that's
always thought there was no strategy, but I've met people that always seem to win. I don't.
my
It's so
grandpa's like
weird.
that.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, like my buddy's mom. Every time I go there, she's like, "Yeah, I pulled 600 out of that one, 500 out of that one." I'm like, "What the hell am I doing wrong? I lost
Yeah.
200 in that one and 300 in that one."
That is never something I really got into, but yeah, I mean, people do find success somehow out of it.
hmm
Yeah, I still like them.
And if you play online, you can buy the bonus, so you don't have to like spin to get it, which is a huge scam, but it's pretty fun to do that.
It's funny.
All right.
All right, Ryan, I think you're up.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go movie here since JD doesn't have his, but I don't think you'd pick this. But Tom, you did mention it.
Mhm.
It's my I won't say best, but it's my favorite movie that involves gambling. It's Rounders. I absolutely love the movie. I was going to mention it when we talk about Mississippi Grind, but like there's some ridiculous things in this movie, but I can't get enough of it. I've probably seen it like 10 times. It's so quick. It makes you want to play. Like I have Texas Hold'em, like that's all it's about. So um yeah, I love it. So I'm happy to get in the fourth round.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a steal for a movie, but I also wasn't gonna pick it. Although it was up there. I'm in between two. But I think I have to go with Uncut Gems.
Oh, okay, that's a good one too.
And
Did
this
not
is
think
so
of it actually.
I'll even say the other movie that I was in between was Molly's Game, and I really like
That's
that.
the other one I had. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the one I think is the best.
I
I think
thought of
it's the
another one
best.
that we didn't even think of, which is a great one, is Casino.
Yeah, and that's good
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and
Yeah,
21.
and
Yeah,
20.
I do like 21 a lot as
But
well.
yeah,
Hey,
Molly
man,
Game's a true
worse and
story.
worse.
Molly Game's a true story, but Uncut Gems is so relatable because he'll throw like 500 on a parlay that includes like the tip, like the first 3-pointer, like,
Yeah.
and somehow it hits. I don't get it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Doesn't work out well for him, but
yeah.
it
So
it
good.
is like the ultimate like well, this movie we watched too. I'll save it for that, but it's like it's got a lot of um just general like gambling faith, I guess you can say, in it as well, which I think makes it a lot of fun. So
Um, but yeah, to pick up my last table game, well, casino game, I'll go with craps.
I was gonna say I thought that's where Tom was gonna go,
I almost
Oh,
had to.
I thought
but
I was gonna
yeah,
start 1-2 with those, and then somehow I sneaked my way to the 5th round with it.
yeah, and that's
I
good.
knew JD was taking craps.
And that's the other one I was gonna say is might like take the crown and like most fun to play with like a group. I don't even know the rules of it, but like it's just the tables get like wild. So
Oh, and the table gets hot. That is fun.
yeah. Yeah, so I think that's a great pick. Especially in 5th round. Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess I just have miscellaneous left, and you guys can veto this if you want. I don't mind picking again, but I was gonna go with fantasy football. Does that count?
I think that works.
I
You're
say you
technically,
gamble. Yeah, you gamble.
technically
Okay.
gambling if you
Yeah.
have as long as you have a buy-in.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think most people do, I would say, that play
Most
it.
respectable people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at
So,
least have some sort of losing punishment, which I would still argue is gambling.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say so. And we're all in the same league together that is very competitive and has buy-in. So and it's like one of my favorite things to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hyped to get in the 5th round. Yeah, I'll take it.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm struggling to
Tommy,
find
close us out.
a game here.
I know it's something we're kind of
One I found here, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it at the casino, is War.
oh, yep.
No, I've never
It's
played.
I have seen it. It's definitely at Vegas for sure.
I was gonna say, I think in Vegas, like everything exists. So
Yeah.
I found it online as an option. So yeah, if that counts, then
Oh,
I'm
that counts.
That's it. Counts, I guess.
gonna-
It's kind of like I don't know if either of you ever played Baccarat, but it's kind of similar. There's the player and the dealer. You literally just flip cards, see who has the higher number.
Yeah. Okay. So
And so that's what I was talking about.
literally
Where
say-
like kind of technically your odds are 50-50 because literally it's just you have to have a higher number.
yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that does it for the gambling draft. I think we're gonna do some more of these, not every episode, but whenever we watch a movie that has like a good theme around it that we can draft things with, I think we're gonna try it out. So yeah, let us know who you guys thought had the best draft in the comments. Might focus on these two columns over here, but maybe there's some Plinko supporters in the chat. Who knows? So
Last pick is tough.
yeah,
Happy team right there on the end.
that was tough getting that last draw there.
Yeah, still makes sense. Oh well.
But yeah, that was fun. So
I like that.
I'm sure we'll do some more, like I said. But yeah, if you have been listening with us since we started, we also, besides the movies, we're listening to a year of Billboard hits every week. This past one was 1991 that we listened to, and I get we'll say our favorites here. I can start. Actually, JD, you start. I think Tom started last time, so JD, you can lead us off with what was your favorite.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go to a classic. I think Ryan's gonna say it too. Wasn't a huge fan of this year. I'm gonna go with "Losing My Religion" by REM.
All right.
Like that.
Yeah. Familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, you want to take it?
I think you're up.
Oh, okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I was gonna say this is my least favorite year overall. There was not
Out of all of them?
out of all of them. There was not. I can genuinely say there was not one song that I listened to or skimmed across whatever that I actually liked. So the reason I'm picking this one is because it's in one of my favorite movies. It's Step Brothers, so it's Something to Talk About by Bonnie Raitt, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's
Yep.
when Brennan's Brennan's singing it as an audition to Dale. So yeah, I only paid it just because I love that scene, love that movie, and yeah, I guess when I come across it on that playlist, I'll just remember it because of that. So yeah, that's what I'll go with.
I think that's fair reasoning to choose a song. It's
Oh,
also Great movie.
Ties into the theme of this podcast. I'm going to. I didn't love this year, but I thought there were a couple good ones. I mean, I think both those ones that you guys just said are good. My pick is Tom's Diner by
Oh.
Super Vega. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the song, but I love the song. Like, I think it's just awesome.
And it's got your name in it.
Is there some bias?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, holding that aside, even if it was JD's Diner, I'd still be my top choice. So it's a good song. It's catchy. It stood out to me as my favorite from this year. So not the strongest year, but like we said, we're getting into the 90s more. So we'll hopefully get some more good years coming up through the pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I mean, getting closer to 2000, which I know we said that about getting closer in 1990 when we were in the 80s, but I think 2000s where it's gonna really cook. So
I was gonna say you were pumped for the 90s.
I know I was, but now I fucking am regretting it already. But yeah, I did peak at the year 2000, and it's just heavy hitter after heavy hitter. So excited for that. But yeah, next week it'll be 1992. So yeah, listen along with that, and we'll give our favorites next week for that. Yeah, so besides that, as we said at the top and last week, the movie we just watched was Mississippi Grind, and that was JD's pick. So JD, if you want to give us a quick synopsis again, and your initial thoughts and score.
Yeah, okay. So first off, I chose this movie, one, because it had a big variance between like ratings, but also because I love both the main actors, Ben Mendelsohn and Ryan Reynolds, and I think they also lived up to me loving them to start. But it's also about gambling, and I do dabble every now and then. But overall, I thought this movie was really well done. There's a few times where I didn't know where it was going, but I thought it worked out really well in the end, and I gave it a flat 80.
All right. Pretty solid. Yeah, to echo, I guess I'll go next. To echo's JD points. Love these actors. I feel like Ben Mendelsohn isn't in enough movies that I like, but I think he's a really good actor. But yeah, love the premise and everything. I have seen this before. It's been like a year or two since I've watched it, but I actually raised my score of where I originally had it. I really like this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's also got some heart in it that's like kind of unexpected, which I like as well. So yeah, a little higher than you, JD, at an E. Well, not even, it's not a number, but just in the middle of 80 and 90 and 85.
Okay.
And Tommy, you can round us out here.
Yeah, I will do that because I'm a little bit lower.
Okay.
I found this movie. I liked the movie, but I found it to be the most perfectly average movie ever. I thought there was nothing good, like nothing bad about it, but nothing like outstanding either. Like I thought it was literally the definition of average. Therefore, my score reflects
70?
that 70 on the die.
All right.
All right.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, I think yeah, I don't know where we want to start here, but I guess we can kind of just start with like acting, cast, and everything like that. Like GD said, it's a weird combo of these two, I think. Just because I feel like they play in totally different movies. Like Ryan Reynolds is, I don't know, I would say probably like strictly comedy, but not like comedy of,
Like
what you
it's not,
kind of think of that.
yeah, it's not like slapstick comedy.
Yeah, not like that at all. But like he plays like a funny guy basically in every movie. I feel like there's always that humor around him. And Ben Mendelsohn, I feel like plays mainly in the dramatic realm of like movies. Like so like pretty totally opposite there. But I like the combo. Like I thought they had like good like chemistry and everything. They turned out to be like best pals, which was like fun to watch. Trying to think who else was in it that I can remember, but like no one.
I mean, it's like a story of two people, really.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like there's some people you might like recognize from other stuff, maybe, but like as far as like top billing and everything, I don't think it was much. I don't think it was like a I don't think this movie costs like too much to make either. So um like they probably use their budget on getting these guys together. But yeah, I liked the cast of them. I thought the acting was like great. Like it's not like they were doing a like insane dramatic performance or anything, but I liked the combo and thought they did a good job.
Yeah, I agree. Also, is it just me? I kind of thought this like halfway through, but I feel like their roles maybe should have been reversed. Like Ryan Reynolds should have been Ben Mendelsohn, and Ben Mendelsohn should have been Ryan Reynolds. But maybe I just think
That's
that
interesting.
because Mendelsohn seems a little older. I don't know their actual ages, but
He definitely
Well,
seems older for sure.
yeah.
was
But like,
very quite a bit older in the movie though.
he might have been. I forget if they say the ages or
I said
not.
their ages at one point. I think he was like
Yeah, because he's looking at the
Ryan
license.
Reynolds was 35 and
Oh yeah,
Mendelsohn was like 40 something, like
but
44 maybe or something.
I feel like it would have worked well with Ryan Reynolds being like the gambling addict that actually like struggles and stuff because he's usually like Ryan brought up, he's usually like the comedy guy making like weird jokes and stuff. And I feel like it would have fit his normal role personality. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Besides
I
that,
think that's fair.
like I feel like he says this in every movie, which is like go, 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 go. I don't like but he did it like once, but I feel like that whole like persona would have worked really well with gambling or just like, just like we can go, put it on the ponies and then double that and then put it on more ponies.
Yeah.
Like I could have just seen him like doing really well.
yeah. Yeah, I think his character was kind of like really interesting. I think yeah, I mean, couldn't really figure him out because like I think when he was talking to his, I don't know if you want to call him or call her his girlfriend in like St. Louis on the riverboat.
Mhm.
Um, but she was saying like, like what you're because at this point, like he's just kind of like the happy-go-lucky guy at the beginning. And he's like his good luck charm. They meet up in like Iowa, they get hammered a couple times, like, and then they go to St. Louis together and like started this journey. And she kind of says, like, what's your angle? Like, what's your angle with him or whatever? Like, is he gonna get like hurt? Like, she kind of alludes this like sinister type event that's happened in the past. So I was wondering like what like I thought he had like some sort of dark side to him, like maybe he like led this like gambling addict along and then like I don't know, like robbed him or something. Like really didn't like I think that's why it was interesting. Like he kind of just seemed to do it out of like the kindness of his heart, like kind of ride along with them. And I know eventually he cuts him off, but like it's kind of weird dynamic.
Rightfully so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we kind of find out Jerry's like a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he sucks.
I hated Jerry by the way. Um, but didn't you guys think that was weird or like what your thoughts were on like Ryan Reynolds' character? Because like, on face value, it just seems like Jerry said, like this happy-go-lucky guy. He's got all these stories about these crazy people he's met, like Tony, whatever his name was,
Tony Roundtree.
Tony
Tony Roundtree.
Roundtree in New Orleans. Like he's got all these crazy stories, but like, I feel like most times characters like that, like they do have like a dark side or they have like a past that like catches up to them at some point, like some ulterior motive, but like his character kind of just like good the whole time. Like I always was kind of trying to figure him out, but couldn't necessarily. But I think at the end he's a pretty good guy.
But I know the scene you're talking about because I was kind of wondering where it was going too because she said, how'd you meet this guy? He's like, I saw him, playing with like a half button shirt or something. So like, so you ordered him a Woodford, and I was
Maker,
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so it's like not the first time he's done this. So I was kind of wondering, but then it kind of seemed like because she brought up another guy, I don't think it was Tony, like Brad or something. He's like, yeah, Brad was a good guy, and he's like, Brad was a thief who stole a lot of money from us or something like that. And
Yeah.
I was just, or like a lying or a thief, and I was just like, oh, okay. So then I kind of think like you were saying, Tom, like he was just a good, I think he does it one for the stories and two to like actually help people, but it seems like a
Mhm.
very odd thing to travel doing. Although they probably have some really good stories out of it.
Right. It's just a weird thing to do to like because she even said like what's your angle on this guy or whatever. He's like, I don't have one. And it's like that's what made me think
Yeah.
like there's gotta be some sort of climax where he like either steals this guy's all his money and like leaves Jerry like in the middle of like I assumed Mississippi, considering the title of the movie. That was not it. Mississippi, but I just thought that he was a very bizarre character, like interesting. I liked him. I liked the character, but it was just kind of strange to see that. And I don't know, it seems like something where they kind of talk about it a little bit like towards the end in like the car ride where they're kind of talking about what their plans are. He eventually wants to kind of settle down with the girl and stuff, and obviously that things work out for him, but it was strange, and it seemed like he was kind of running away from something a little bit that he never addressed. But yeah, just kind of like a not dark character, but just a mysterious character for sure. I think Jerry was a little bit the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like, because I did think that too. I think maybe it could have been something where like Jerry was kind of changing him of like maybe his old ways. Where it sounds like there was maybe some sketchy stuff going on, but yeah, I don't know. I think that could have been an interesting turn, like if that happened in there somewhere where like it was all kind of a scam or setup or whatever. I don't know how I would have thought about it at times, 'cause I kind of like how it wrapped up, but yeah, that would have been interesting.
I think if there was a scam or something, it's like it's a completely different movie at that point, right? Because like
Yeah.
this is kind of like a movie of like friendship or whatever, just like two people going. I wouldn't say going through the same thing, but just going on this like bromance together. And if there's a huge scam, then it turns into like some like dark twist of a movie.
Yeah.
But then also like, who do you root for in that? Like, say there was like, you can't really root for Ryan Reynolds because he screwed him over, but also Ben Mendelsohn's just
Yeah,
like a
Jerry
gambling
kinda
addict. Yeah, Jerry wasn't
Yeah.
exactly cream of the crop.
I mean, once you found out Jerry was like a pretty bad absentee father and was stealing still from
Oh,
his
this
wife or ex-wife, like when he got caught in the drawer, that was tough. I mean, that was tough to watch.
it's hard to root for him.
This dude's got issues. He went like
Yeah.
he went like 300 miles out of his way to steal like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew something was up because when he was telling Ryan Reynolds about it, like story, wasn't match up to what we saw, obviously. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, shit,
because he's
what's
like,
going
yeah,
on?
I told myself I get a queen, I gotta go see my queen. And it's like,
Yeah.
you lost it all on a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started in I think, Memphis when he lost like he went all
Won
in.
the first time, or the first,
Yeah, he won like $7,000 or something in St.
Yeah.
Louis. Then they went down to Memphis and he went all in and lost it on the river because he's looking really good. But I mean, I think that's just that's the ups and downs of
Oh
gambling.
yeah, I mean that was a
Yeah,
bad
that's
Bet
beat.
the
literally-
house. It was a terrible
It
beat.
was, yeah.
You bet the house every time, you're eventually going to lose it all. So
And you could see it, like, I think we may have all been there before, not necessarily in poker, maybe, but like you think you have a a surefire win, and then just like, it is a bad beat. However, like if you're watching, like if you bet on sports or whatever, and like you just like all on his face where he's like, he just speechless, like just couldn't even put into words like what just happened. And you knew he was like going to go on a bender after that. But
I literally had that last night. Literally happened to me last night.
oh yeah,
You went on
Yeah.
a bender?
No, but I had a bad beat. Fantasy baseball. I was up by like 20, coming down to the last game of the night. This guy was playing, had the Dodgers pitcher, and he pitched great, but he wasn't in line for the win. So I was gonna beat him by like 3. And then I was watching the
got the
game
win.
too. I didn't realize he had the Yankees shortstop. He had a garbage time 2-run shot, just absolutely smoked one. And that's like 7 points, and he beat me by 3 or beat me by 5. I couldn't believe it.
Dang,
That was the definition of a bad beat.
Yeah.
So
My worst beat ever was the Calvin Johnson fumble on like the 4.
yeah, that is tough. That was earth shattering, actually.
mhm.
Need him to get one catch for like 20 yards. All of a sudden he's going to the house, happy go lucky. Drops it on the 4-yard line and I lose.
Yeah. Tough. I can't think of mine, but yeah, I mean, definitely have felt that before. And then he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm just gonna go steal it from my ex-wife's sock drawer."
Even if it's
Also,
not,
kind of sorry to cut you off, Tom, but like I'm not saying like his wife is to blame at all, but it sounded like this happened a couple times. Maybe find a new hiding place for the money,
Yeah,
or put it in a bank, maybe. But I mean, that was a
Into
thick
field.
stack of cash
Yeah.
right there. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say like with Jerry, like yeah, similar to that, but like even with Jerry when he lost on that bad beat, like even if you don't gamble, like you've had that feeling at some point in your life.
At some point,
Maybe
Yeah.
you're
I
in
thought,
school and like you just know you like fucked up a test and like that's gonna tank your grade, or like something's happens where you feel like floored. Like you were literally your heart sinks to the floor.
but I think
Like
it's even opposite because he thought he had it in the bag, like he
right.
won, and then like all of a sudden, nah, you're screwed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like even worse feeling. But um yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. Like, I mean, you probably shouldn't hide your money in your sock drawer, but you also probably didn't think Jerry's gonna show up that random like
That's
Wednesday.
true. Yeah.
But like,
Also, he doesn't even live in the same state. So yeah.
yeah, but
Right.
also, why are you leaving him unattended in your house? Like, lock the door or something. Like
Right.
right when he
Right.
walks in,
Yeah.
Right.
Connie, shut the bedroom. All right, hey Jerry, what's up?
uh, yeah, that's a good point. I think I, again, I because of the gambling aspect, it was really enjoyable. I think it was just a fun movie. Like it's fun to watch from the outside and not actually live that life
Oh
of
yeah.
like riding the highs and lows of gambling without like the actual destruction of it. Um, but I really liked, like you said, JD, like just kind of the genuineness of it. Like there was no, and that's like I fully expected like some sort of scheme just for like the drama of it, and it wasn't there. It was just kind of like a genuine like friendship, which was cool. I thought that was great. I was just, I guess for like a movie sake, I was surprised to see like the kind of the wholeheartedness of the characters. Like I was expecting some sort of twist that never came, but
Yeah.
not that that makes it bad. I think to me it was just like perfectly average. Like everything about the story was average. I liked it. It was enjoyable. It just didn't have maybe those twists and turns that for me make it a little bit of a higher rated movie.
And another thing I like about it as being a gambling movie, which obviously like every movie has some sort of problem in it, but like for 95% of the movie, he's losing. Like most gambling
Right.
movies, you see him like hitting big or like, like you mentioned The Hangover, they just go there, win like 40 grand or whatever it was in like an hour. Like I feel like that's how a lot of gambling or like 21 rounder stuff like that, like especially 21, they just clean up at like every single casino because they're counting cards.
Yeah.
But like this 95% of the movie, he's getting his ass beat.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like that too. I mean, it was tough to watch, but like it
Oh
did
yeah.
show that other side, like you said, of hey, like it's not. Although this is a movie, you're not just gonna win every time. Again, they win in the end, but yeah, I mean, there were like when he was losing, that was tough. When he was, I thought when he had dinner with that woman in the diner that she was like gambling addict sponsor or something, but it turned out she was like the
Oh,
one of the people he owed a shit ton of money to, and she had like a guy looking for him, which that
Funny.
was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like it
but
because like when they say you're deep with the deep in the sharks or whatever, like
yeah,
that's the sharks. That's hurt.
yeah, absolutely. And that was tough. And then it was also funny because this is also relatable too. Like he's at his job, clearly just thinking about gambling or like, the
Yeah.
next thing, which I think we've all been there too. But then, he goes and cuts out early, I think at least, and goes to the horse track, I think, at that point. Um, but and then, when he loses before he goes to the ex-wives, and then like that's also a loss in itself that she caught him. And then when they have their riff and he finds out that he is out of money when Ryan Reynolds finds out, and then I don't know what you guys I think it's kind of obvious, or maybe I'm just an idiot, but like Ryan Reynolds, like those guys came in the bathroom and then he like leans on them and
Yeah,
so they could beat up Jerry. I think that was intentional, right? And then
I
he
think
goes
so
back
too.
in and saves him, I think. But he's like, you need to get your ass beat here.
Yeah,
That's what I thought at least. So that was like, I mean, not like devastating or anything, but it was like, damn, like, these guys have been riding a high and have this new like budding friendship, and then Jerry's just a loose cannon.
Mhm. Yeah. yeah, Jerry wrote it all on that one pot. And that was one of my other gripes about the movie. It's just like typical gambler mentality. When you're down to like your last $10, you're like,
You
I
just
can
gotta, yeah,
get this back. So he goes to like the blackjack table. Of course, he actually does start to get it all back.
yeah,
And then, of course, every gambling movie too, he starts like riding the high of the craps table until he's like a millionaire.
yeah.
Which,
Uh,
I mean, I guess I'm glad it had a happy ending, but it just seemed a little bit expected, I guess.
yeah, I want to bring up 2 points. I'm glad Ryan brought up the bathroom scene because I took that as well. As he's like, yeah, I need to beat your ass, but like I'm
Yeah,
not
you
gonna do
didn't
it.
want to do it. Yeah.
But also, like, I was thinking about that scene. I think that's one of the most unrealistic scenes in there because if there's two guys taking a piss, one guy comes up and pushes you in the urinal and you want to fight someone, what, you're just beating up his buddy and letting the other guy just like, oops, I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, they didn't really have a problem with Jerry. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Ryan Reynolds did it all.
Yeah. That's
But,
true.
but to Tom's point of how it had a happy ending, I kind of wish it didn't. I kind of wish they
I think that'd be
like,
more realistic if
Well, I
Jerry
want to talk about that too.
like,
hitchhiking.
because they won like 600 grand or something in one night, and I wish they would have lost. I wish they honestly would have lost it all on that last craps roll, and then it's like, they see them still as brothers, like having a drink, and then going their separate ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think. I thought there were 2 points where I thought it was going to go differently. When he was down to like his last $10, I thought he was going to lose that, and then there was going to have to be some sort of resolution, obviously of some sort. Like he was either going to get his life together, Ryan Reynolds is going to bail him out again, whatever it was. But then I also thought going all in again because like Ryan Reynolds kind of like almost had taught him to be cautious, like especially like when he faded him at the horse track. Like I thought that was kind of like
I like that
a
that
symbol of
twist.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought that
that
was
was
kind
kind
of
of cool.
symbol of like this dude's literally a loose cannon and like can't be trusted whatsoever.
And just like you can tell like a loser when you see one. Like you gotta
yeah, he's got a
stay
stink
away
on
because
him.
that's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing too. It's like gambling. There's a lot of like gambling superstitions in this, I think, and that was one of them for sure. Like you got to fade like a cold better for sure. That and like the glasses scene where he's like, "No, we got to bet another one." If the guy that walks out of the bathroom is wearing glasses, we bet like that. People have done that like all the time and
Definition of a
stuff like
degenerate.
that. Yeah, absolutely. He's the lowest that you can go.
Like you said too, JD, that last scene, I thought for sure they were going to lose it. And it was going to be like, where do we go from here? But Ryan Reynolds was like, fuck it, basically, like, let's do it. And
Yeah.
it worked out. But where do you guys think Jerry went? Like,
Well, that's what I wanted
didn't
to talk
have a lot.
about because that is the very end. So,
Also, did anyone else think Jerry was gonna just rob it all, take it, and leave? Kind of thought
yeah,
that was
well,
gonna
I wanted to
happen.
talk about that too. Yeah, because like when Ryan Reynolds like
But he
not
didn't.
quite like bending over to look at the safe yet, but he's just like standing upright, like looking at it. It's like, oh no, like he
Yeah.
had that thought in his head. He's like, Jerry's probably downstairs right now at the table again,
Yeah,
with the
blowing
whole
it
safe.
all.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I did, and I think they meant us to like think that too. But I like that. I mean, for a movie that not like a whole lot happens, it was pretty. I don't know if it's suspenseful is like the thing, but like I was satisfied in the payoffs of the movie, more than I thought I'd be
I
because
agree.
it's not like a crazy action movie or anything like that, or like thriller where there are like twists and turns necessarily, but there were still scenes like that. Scenes like you do see Jerry has like kind of a trouble past with his family, and so is Ryan Reynolds with his mom a little bit. It seemed like too because he was giving her money and everything, and that's kind of maybe why he is like he was with the girl from St. Louis and all that stuff. So I thought those elements like added a lot more like substance to it, and that's kind of why I had it higher. Um, because of those things all tied into like a fun movie to watch. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I did to answer your question. I did think there was like, oh shit, like Jerry just stole him.
Yeah. I actually agree with all the points you made. I kind of forgot about his mom. That's a great scene actually, kind of too. And I think this is one of those like movies where if someone asks you to like describe what happens, they're gonna be like, doesn't really sound like that good of a movie. And maybe
Yeah,
that's why Tom has it at perfectly average. But I mean, like you said though, Ryan, there's like not suspense, but there's like a lot of scenes where like you like feel something. I don't know the better
yeah.
way to put it. And I really enjoyed watching it. But if you try to describe it, they'd be like, sounds like they just lose a lot of money and then win it all. I'm like, yeah, kind of.
Technically happens, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think though, speaking of like we kind of talked about like the end scene with Jerry, I think Jerry not taking it kind of reinforces the point that like he actually is a good guy, but he just had like severe addiction, and like that addiction is what drove him to like be a piece of shit, like to like take loans that he knows he's never gonna pay back or like steal and shit like that. So I did kind of like that it came together that way. And Jerry made like a reference to their favorite inside joke of going to Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
the note. Yep.
So I think it kind of resolved itself where like they're both good guys, just kind of with like troubled past.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
It's go ahead, Jay.
Just makes me want to watch the prequel.
Yeah.
Mississippi Bump.
Um,
Mississippi Bump and Grind.
Yeah. That one has to not have a happy ending for sure.
No, can't.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds got his toe cut off when he was
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
So
was
that had to be
insane.
there. That's another thing. Like, I mean, Jerry just getting stabbed, like nothing happened, basically.
I was gonna say that earlier. Like Jerry got stabbed at one point in this video.
He did not make
this-
any fuss about that. He's like, shit.
No, he used it perfectly. He's telling everyone, he's like, look, I got robbed.
Yeah,
Instead of like
that is
losing
true.
all the
And
money.
maybe that's why he, wasn't making a big deal about it until the time. But then he's like at the diner, he's like, look at this. Like, I got stabbed.
I
But
think he was like leaning into it. He's like, come on, hit me.
yeah, yeah.
Jerry doesn't is a guy with insurance either, so I feel like
No, it's definitely not.
but like the one.
I mean, did you see
square
that bandage
on
job?
there,
Like, yeah,
disgusting.
that was DIY for sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's like
But-
right after he's like, I was wearing a white suit, and then he lost all the money. Right, I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. He's like, what about my white suit?
Yeah.
No white suit anymore.
And so here, well, to wrap up Ryan Reynolds' story first, I guess, like, kind of thought he would go back to St. Louis, right? But then turns out that night of the craps, like, epic, conclusion, had another girl over. So like, who knows if he actually loved the girl from St. Louis? I forget her name, but then finds a new girl at the end. The lady working the front desk and like, hey, like, you want to go to where's Machu Picchu at? I forget.
Peru, yeah.
Peru. Yeah, he's like, hey, you want to go to Peru? And then she's like, hi. And he's like, no, like, he actually want to go. Which is kind of cool that like, he's finally doing it because it's always like his joke. And like, he's like, time to be serious. Like, let's just go. Like, I've been saying it forever. Like, I'm just going to go. So I like that. I think that's, not very ambiguous. But with Jerry, I hope it's what you said, Tom. I really hope, like, he's a changed man and everything. He puts a picture of his daughter up there. I do think that is how, because what I'm thinking the alternative is just diabolical. He has her up there, and then he's like, all right, time to go to the next casino. And like, I hope that's not the case. I really don't think it is. I think he actually has turned. But to go back to it, like, he is a, like the exact definition of an addict.
Oh, yeah.
You start winning all that money, it's like, think about what I can do with this. Like,
Yeah, you
so
gotta ride the hot streak.
exactly. And he had that tape playing in the background of the tells and everything. But
Top 200 poker
yeah,
tells.
that's hilarious. But I don't think because what that tip was or whatever, or that tell, it was describing what he was doing in the moment. I forget what it was exactly, but he's like, yeah, someone
Slouching, I think.
He slouches.
Yeah,
He's
someone
just down
who
low.
isn't slouching or whatever is like a super confident whatever, which then I think he like adjusts and does it. So I do think he's like on the as straight and narrow as he can get from there on, and like goes and gives money to his sister and then pays the other debt or daughter and then pays his other debts. But I mean, I just think in the back of my mind, like, this guy, I mean, can we trust this guy? But I don't know.
I'm
That's
in
just
the
what I was
exact same boat. I think there's one chance where he like paid his debts, and like I know they mentioned the college fund for his daughter or something earlier in the movie, and so like maybe he put 100 grand in there, paid his debts, don't know what his debts were at, and with all his leftovers, just maybe lived a quiet life. But I think he went straight to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
I mean, apparently he has no problem driving anywhere in the country. He sold his car to get it back, by the way.
Yeah.
It goes back to the dealership and buys the exact same car. He's like, yeah, got lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he went straight to Vegas. Probably stopped on the way a few times too.
Right.
I don't know if he made it to Vegas, honestly. He might have lost it before he got there.
Yeah.
Funny you guys mentioned that. Like I didn't even think about what Jerry would have done after, because like I kind of assumed he'd sailed off into the sunset. But like the more we're talking about it, like odds of that happening are like almost zero in
Oh,
real
yeah.
life. Like this dude is the biggest degenerate on the planet, and now he has a like large sum of money in his hands. Like there's no way he didn't blow all that in like a week.
Oh, yeah. If I
Like
was
the
Ryan
whole
Reynolds,
movie was playing it off to be like, oh, it's a happy ending. Jerry went and
yeah, if I was Ryan Reynolds and I could bet on that with somebody, I'd put 90% of my shit on that he did it. 10% benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Bill Burr quote. But yeah, he definitely did that.
He definitely went back to his old ways.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, there's no way it didn't, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it
I mean,
changed that instantly.
yeah,
So
it's it's just even shittier because he does put his daughter up there, and it's like, oh, like, and then if he does it after that, it's like, come on, dude, like
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
pathetic. But
Well, maybe he had good intentions of just buying, making it so rich that he can just give her all the money one day.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
that's probably what he would say after he
Uh,
lost.
he'd probably stab himself. I got stabbed again.
Yeah, that's boy, that's that part is that part was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think Ryan, you mentioned it. I think it's just a really great depiction of how like a gambling addict looks.
that
Kind of
too.
goes along with what I was saying like earlier in like whereas like usually to see everyone winning, it actually shows like the really dark side of gambling.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I kind you feel like you only see that kind of like mob movies. I mean, it gets pretty
yeah,
dark in those too.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's like a pretty good depiction of like, yeah, like you said, Jay, like the real life guy, like not the mob version of it, like the dude
Yeah,
real estate agent, but
yeah,
like he's down so badly, like it's affected his job, like he's living in like kind of a shithole, like
yeah. Tore his family apart.
yeah, I think that's like a real like how a real gambling addict, like that's what can actually
Yeah,
happen, like
probably a
to
yeah,
drinking problem.
yeah, it's like you're run of the mill gambling addict, not necessarily like guys you see on like Rounders or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, I think that was pretty well done as far as like the character goes.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I liked it. I mean, yeah, I just thought the characterization was really good, and for what I assume was a small budget movie, yeah, I think did well with what it had, and it was a
It's
pleasant
also
surprise.
under 2 hours. Kind of like, I mean, I know we talked about how like if you talked about it, there you wouldn't actually say that much stuff, but kind of a lot of stuff happens in that 2 hours.
Yeah.
They
There
like go
wasn't
to
a
like
point where I ever checked my, like, the
no,
time, like, oh, when's this gonna be over? Like,
no, me either.
It
it was
moved pretty,
very well paced.
yeah, I was gonna say it moved pretty well, I
Yeah.
thought.
I mean, they go to like 6 different cities in
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
it.
Compare it's the time they spent in Iowa. Iowa sudden
Yeah.
that and really secured itself.
Yeah,
Even
Yeah.
bottom that first Woodford.
yeah. I like that. I like the
That was
Woodford. I forget I know it was something rainbow with the horse that they
yeah.
went on the first time. And then he like bets against Hawaii and is like the Rainbow Warriors, like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, he tried to bet on
Tried to
Hawaii,
bet on them. He tried to bet
Oh, he
but
did try to bet on?
but
Oh, I
his
thought
bookie
he
or
did.
whatever wouldn't
he
let
wouldn't
him.
take
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
way too much for credit.
And then of course they
Yeah.
won. Which has Hawaii ever actually beat Gonzaga? Like,
Has White ever made the tournament? Because I'm pretty sure that was March Madness.
yeah, honestly, it could have been.
Because
Yeah.
because he said something like, "Can I take the Hawkeyes game?" And I think it was. I thought it was like.
Oh, I thought it was the Hawks.
Oh, I thought he said Hawkeyes because they were in Iowa.
Oh, it could have
Uh,
been, I guess. I
That's
thought
why.
he just said Hawks, but yeah,
Could
it
have
might have
been.
been. That makes more
Hawaii,
sense.
Hawaii has made the tournament 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall 1-5.
Tough.
They made it.
They made it. 2016. I don't really remember that. Probably lost though.
I don't do not remember that whatsoever.
No.
I remember their football team being pretty good, kind of back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. With basketball, I didn't know they had a team.
Nope. Yeah, all in all though, I thought this was a pretty like enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
my score doesn't have it super highly. Like that doesn't mean I didn't like it. I just didn't think it was like great.
Yeah.
It's like a movie.
Yeah. I think it's a movie that definitely went under the radar. And maybe not like a lot of people know about it, but I think we'd all, probably say recommend to
I'd
watch
recommend
it,
for sure.
especially if you enjoy this type of movie, what it talks about and everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think the average was 78.3. Where does that put it on the list, JD?
Above Captain Marvel and below Devil All the Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting
Pretty good
too.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
Ben
funny.
Mendelsohn is in Captain Marvel, I
He
think.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
ranked 290 and ranked 290. So kind
All
of in the
right.
middle there.
Pretty good. How many movies do we
Solid.
have on this sheet here total?
421.
Yeah.
21.
So about right in the middle.
500 mark. That'll be a big episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get there.
Eurovision's 421st, and that's it should
Yeah,
be lower.
it should be, yeah. Well, actually, Porky should be
I
lower,
cannot
but
believe Porky's isn't last.
Oh,
it
Tom,
should be.
I brought up Porky's the other day to like some family friends and like their parents, and I was like, "Yeah, have you guys seen Porky's?" And like before they answered, I was like, "I hate that movie." And right at the same time, one of the moms goes, "I love that movie." And
I feel like
I don't think we saw the same movie.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like the generation above us actually loves that movie because,
Yeah,
like we talked, I think one of you guys mentioned it, like that was their American Pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
But then,
It's sad.
yeah. But then I
Yeah.
felt bad because I felt like I was shitting on someone's like movie point. No, but she did say American Pie is better, and then I had to break out the
Well, that's
news
good.
where I haven't seen those. So
Yeah, well, I forgot. Yeah.
You gotta.
We'll have
Just
to
watch
pick that
those
at
on,
some point,
watch those
but
on here at some point.
yeah, that might
yeah.
be my next franchise
Originals.
too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about Transformers because they made the Rise of the Beast come
Oh,
out this
God,
year,
don't get
and
me
that looks
started.
so bad. I
That's
can't
right
wait.
under my list of Fast and Furious of
Oh,
franchise that I just despise now.
those bad franchises. I don't know what it is. They draw me in. I'm a sucker. I laugh like the whole time. I kind of feel bad, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. Not great. And we'll get to that update in a second, G, because I know you got something for us of when we get into what we've been watching. So excited to
Yeah.
hear that. But yeah, so that was Mississippi Grind. Definitely recommend it. As far as next week's assignment, so I think it's my pick. I'm gonna go with a movie I saw in theaters in 2014. It's on Max. It's called Nightcrawler. Have you guys seen it?
Oh yeah.
I
Jake Gyllenhaal.
no, I haven't
Okay. Well, I was hoping at least one of you haven't. So
heard of it.
I can give a quick synopsis here. So it's when Lewis Bloom, a con man desperate for work, muscles into the world of LA crime journalism, he blurs the line between observer and participant to become the star of his own story. So kind of kind of pretty broad there, but yeah, I mean, I won't give away my initial thoughts when I say, but it's a movie I wanted to see again and just see if it kind of holds up to what I initially thought about it. So saw it was on there, so we'll go with that. So yeah, give it a watch. It's on Max. So yeah, that's what we'll be watching this next week. What else we've been watching? JD, I know you had an update for us of a movie you recently saw. If you want to say that and anything else you were watching.
I did. I saw Fast and Furious, Fast X, in theaters. It's so bad. So first off, it's 3 parts, and like everyone knows it's 3 parts, but they try to leave, a cliffhanger. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, there's a cliffhanger!" And so, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it and you want to see it for some reason, don't listen forward. But I'll give you guys the spoilers. So in the very last scene, it seems like the whole team's plane goes into a mountain and explodes, and then Vin Diesel and his son. First off, his son, like, just I think he killed a guy. Also, he was like they're going like 90 down a road. He's like on the back, like hanging on one arm, and
He's
this
like
kid's like
8?
8. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so young.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, what are we doing here? And then Jason Momoa literally pulls up next to him, just like grabs him out of the other car. And I was like, what are we like? Just like yanks him into his own car. I was like, no, none of that would work. But so last scene, him and his son drove down the Hoover Dam, and then like a bomb looks like it's to detonate the dam, and and then he's at the bottom, and then cuts to black. But it's a 3-part trilogy, and they didn't kill off all the main actors right before it happened, so we know they all live, because of course. And as soon as the plane was about to blow up, all the team was like running to cars in a plane, and so I can't wait to see them just like flying out. I hope they have wings or something. Or
Or
like
it
Dom.
sounds like a crossover of Transformers and Fast X. They get into their Autobots that are
Oh yeah.
first cars, and then who knows what happens.
On top of that, they I know you guys probably haven't seen it, but they killed off Gal Gadot, or however you say her name, in like the 4th movie, and she's in like the second to last scene. She just like rolls up, she's like, need lift. And I'm like, God damn, that's the third main character they killed off and brought back. This series, I love it. But I don't understand. They don't kill it. Like they kill him. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. And then they're not dead. I'm like, okay. Actually, there's 4 if you count one of the villains from the older ones. It's ridiculous. No one stays dead. But yeah, so that's
exactly what
my
I expected.
yeah, so that's my Fast X rant. I can't
What do
wait
you
for the
give it?
next part.
Yeah, what do
Mhm.
you give it?
Yikes. I don't know. I'll rank all the Fast and franchise. I don't want to actually give them scores because I feel like I validate the movie too much. I'll rank the franchise. I'll
Okay,
have that
that's
prepared
so
for the
good.
next show.
All right.
But other things I'm watching, White House Plumbers on HBO Max. I think it's wrapping up soon. I actually not sure. That's still that's kind of in the Fast and Furious where it's like I'm this bought in, I have to finish it, but it's just not good. Like it's kind of like Fast X where the story could be really good, but it's like not. Well, Fast X problems are just ridiculous, but White House Plumber's story is true, is ridiculous, and I don't know, some of the series just not. It's not reeling me in. It's not doing it for me.
Fair. That's Bill Burr was talking about that. He's watching it too. He said it was funny.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
funny.
yeah, that's kind of a bummer to hear. It's not the best though.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend people watch it, but I feel like I have high standards for HBO, and given that that's a true story, and the true story is actually incredibly like
Mhm.
ludicrous of what they do, I just feel
Mhm.
like it could have been done really well. But it is
Right.
funny, I will say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm still watching the league. I'm almost done with it, and I don't know what's next. And what about you, Ryan? I know you were watching Succession. I'm pretty sure I heard that was just wrapped up, right?
Yeah, so that wrapped up very well. I'm glad. It's only I think 4 seasons, so they quit while they were ahead because I think they kind of were like the top show that was like live going. Very happy with it. I'd say top 10 show for me. I think some people were like saying like kind of best. I don't think it touches like the top tier of at least my favorite ones. It's like, like Breaking Bad, Thrones minus last season, uh, shows like that, but still really good. Highly recommend if anyone hasn't seen it to watch it. I think you guys, both would like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also wrapped up Dave, which
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly also isn't if it's not in there, it's very close to being a top 10 favorite show of mine. This last finale, it was like it was insane. And like it was just so cool to watch. Love that show. Highly recommend that too, if no one's seen that. Um, so yeah, I have no shows to watch. Or I mean, obviously there's shows to watch, but like you, Tom, like after you wrap up the league, I'm a free agent as far as shows are concerned. So I'll probably pick one by the uh next time we record. But yeah, just
Give
wrapped up my latest
give
ones.
give White House Plumbers a watch. Only 5 episodes or so
Oh, okay,
so
that's
far.
not bad. I was thinking of actually doing Sopranos because I never watched that, and
Oh yeah, you
people
should
say
watch that.
that's like the best. So
Oh yeah.
thinking
I
about
hear.
that one, we'll see.
I know me and Tom are big Sopranos guys.
I've never seen Sopranos
Oh,
actually.
Oh,
oh, is
You're
it
thinking of
Tony?
Tony. Yeah,
Tony.
you're thinking.
Tony. Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
it.
I'm a big fan of The Wire.
Oh, The
Yeah,
Wire.
and
That's
that's
what it
one on my
was.
list too.
Oh,
So
have you
might
not
do
seen The
want to
Wire
watch
That's
it.
on
either?
top 3.
I haven't. No.
Oh yeah, those are probably both of those are probably in my top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Actually,
Wire's top 5. Probably top
yeah,
3.
yeah.
Probably
So
number 2 by Breaking Bad, honestly.
I'd have to think Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones for the first like 6 seasons, The Sopranos, The Wire. Yeah, that's in no specific order, but that's like my top 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. I will say though, too, getting back into the theater, I might want to go check out that new Spider-Man this weekend.
Oh, I want to see that too.
Oh yeah, I do really want to see that. I'm trying to rewatch the first one before I go
Yeah.
see it, just because it's been kind of like 2 years at
Couple
least.
years. 2 or 3.
It just
Good.
I have to rent it, which is no big deal, but
Yeah.
gotta watch. I like to, if I'm seeing like a sequel or something, I like to get caught up before I go watch. But I've heard that's incredible, so excited to watch that.
It's got like a 9.1 or something right now.
Highest comic book movie on IMDb,
Wow.
I believe. Well,
Yeah,
I
it is
don't
a
know if you
9.1.
count.
Sometimes those come down though, because like remember when the
Yeah.
new Avengers came out, they were like 9.7.
Yeah, I also don't know if they count Dark Knight in that. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I feel like that's like top
I think
10
it's like an 8.7 or something.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man's a 9.1 right now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that will come down a little bit.
Pretty sure 9.1 puts it as like the highest rated of all time.
Yeah, it's
Dark
up there.
Dark Knight's a 9.0 right now.
Oh, okay. I think Shawshank is like a 9.2.
Yeah, it's like that and The Godfather, like the top
9.3.
3.
Shawshank's 9.3. I think it's the highest rated.
I think so too.
I think so.
Or it's either that or The Godfather.
Yeah, Godfather's up there too.
It's 9.2 Godfather. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely want to see that as well.
Yeah, that's on my list. I mean, movies out in theaters. That's the only one right now I really want to check out.
Yeah.
It looks pretty awesome. Got the reviews to back it up too.
Yeah, I muted it on Twitter because I kept hearing stuff about it.
That's a good call.
It's been my new thing. I
Yeah.
think actually Ryan might have got me started on that, but
Yeah,
there's a movie I want to see. I just got to mute.
yeah, definitely highly recommend that, or shows, whatever, because they're just ruthless on there now.
Oh yeah, I mean opening night people will tweet the ending of a movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, you guys remember how that became popular? No, maybe not how it became popular.
I think it was some basketball player.
Sean McCoy.
Oh, it was Sean McCoy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Everybody like muted all the words from the Avengers, and he said like R.I.P. Tony Stark.
Yeah.
N-E-Y.
Yeah, he misspelled it. That's how it came through. Yeah. That's so funny.
People were so pissed.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious. But yeah, that's all I've got on my watch list.
Yeah, I think it's Machu Picchu time.
Yeah.
I think so.
I love when he had to explain that to Jerry because Jerry just like couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah. He was just fucking running hands through his head like, what's next?
Jerry's brain
back can be on.
He was like, "Do they have casinos there?"
Yeah.
Oh wait, one thing I do want to bring up in that movie, you know the story of how the fourth Duke of Sandwich like created the sandwich?
Yeah.
That's actually true. That's actually kind of really cool. Like just a little part of history. Yeah, the dude liked to gamble so much he'd have his servants bring like roast beef between bread so he could eat it with his hands.
That's actually wild.
That is insane. Actually.
Literally created the sandwich because he's a gambling addict.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
New favorite food sandwich.
Ryan Reynolds at that point was just like, yeah, that's crazy. And he's like, he was a great gambler.
Yeah.
Cool. That was a pretty fun watch. It was a pretty fun watch.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So hopefully Nightcrawler is too. I would say actually, if having seen it, maybe not fun, I would describe it, but
fun's not.
Yeah, certainly not. But hopefully still a good watch. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Also listen to 1992 Billboard hits, and then I think that's it. So follow along if you haven't been already. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.